Alright guys, there's a new MMORPG coming out very soon, and in this video we're going to talk a little bit about it, especially because they are dropping the token very soon, 13th of June I believe, and you probably already know the game I'm talking about. It's called Ember Sword. So guys, in this video I'm going to break out the game, how I'm kind of looking at it, and what can we expect at the TGE. So if you're excited for this one, smash the like button and let's go. And if you're not excited, then smash the like and subscribe instead. Alright guys, Ember Sword is a social sandbox MMORPG with isometric view and built on their own engine. What is really cool about this game, first, is that the game has been already built in like 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years in development. Second thing is that it's going to be very accessible because the entire game you'll be able to play the entire game through browser. So whether you're on a phone, whether you're on a PC, you can play. Even if you're on a console and you just launch the browser, you're probably able to play. So in terms of accessibility, super accessible. In terms of graphics, it's still decent comparing to accessibility. I really like those isometric games. This one is pretty dynamic. Also, they don't have like a standard classes. Depending on what weapon you have, this is kind of like the advancements you're gonna get. At least this is what I saw in the previous build that I participated like 1 year ago. And there were many features not implemented back then, but still the game was pretty fun. So I am actually really curious to see how it's gonna perform. The game is developed by Bright Star Studios, and from what I saw, they have pretty experienced devs. A lot of people already like with 10 years plus of dev experience, and studios like CD Projekt Red, for example. So I'm actually very bullish, and the amount of progress we see through those years, especially that they're building everything from the ground up. This is their own game engine. It's browser based and everything. They're also gonna have something like AI controlled environment. Plus, they've delivered a shit ton of lore. And this is really something that I really like, because if you have an MMORPG, you need to make the player engaged. And here you see, at least from those stories and the lore descriptions that they delivered, this is really interesting world. They even have their tabletop RPG, so something like Dungeons and Dragons, you know, those kind of games. So this is also really cool. If you're a really like RPG fan, maybe you should check it out. All right, so far Ember Sword released 2 types of NFTs. First one is lands, and they come with different sizes, of course, and second one is badges. Badges are more important right now because they just released an article that tells you if you're a badge holder, you'll be able to sacrifice, like burn your badge and participate in the token generation event and claim the tokens. But here's a little catch. If you're right now thinking about aping into those badges to burn them for the tokens, you need to know one thing. Everything they actually described everything really well in this article that I'm going to link in the description. But what is important to know that the TGE, that the claim for those tokens is TGE plus 1 month. So the token will be launched in the market, but you'll be able to claim your tokens 1 month later. And every month you'll be able to claim 10%. Okay, so what we can expect from the launch, because if those people who burn their NFTs will receive the tokens 1 month later, that means that the selling pressure is not going to be that high. But then again, we don't know how many of them will actually want to burn their badges for the token. Although on the other hand, like, what other choice do you have? Do you have any utility within the game from the badge? I'm not sure. So It's either do or die, maybe, the situation. But anyways, tokenomics. It looks pretty okay, at least from those graphs, and it's usually looks good from those graphs. But at the beginning, a lot of portion of the initial token will be liquidity pool, reserves, and basically a little bit of partnership and marketing, which I expect that those will dump immediately. I usually see that calls and influencers, they just take the profit if they can at the beginning. In this market, when most of them have a lot of projects that they are shilling, they're probably gonna do it. Although we are not sure. Well, this is first 2.5% overall, over extended period of time. So doesn't look that bad. That's the first thing. And second thing, I really like that rest, so like community rewards and everything is kind of all those pools are kind of locked, and probably this is going to be some form of airdrop for the community for early playtests. We will see. Okay, so from the tokenomics perspective, it doesn't look that bad. But from the economy perspective, like, what is the utility of the token? Utility of the token is basically you'll be able to burn the token to get upgrades on your cosmetics. You collect 4 of one cosmetic and you can merge them into a higher tier. And basically this is the main utility. You'll be also able to pay in the premium shops for those cosmetics. Cosmetics, here I need to mention, are not pay to win. They are just cosmetics. They just make your character look cool. And this is another thing, like, they will be in demand only if we're gonna see a big number of players. And here, it's really hard to say when the game is not released yet and we don't see how many players actually participate in the game. So pure speculation. So either we're gonna see Ember Sword on the launch, we're gonna see really going up, because there's not much inflation just right from the gates, or we're gonna see Ember short. Get it? See what I did there? Alright guys, so what am I doing and how am I looking at this launch? Here's what I'm referring to. Ember Sword is, for me, like one of the higher tier projects in Web3 space, so I'm gonna look at something similar that launched not that long ago. And that project is Engines of Fury. Engines of Fury launched recently, I think 15th of May. Well, market conditions back then was shitty. I don't know if in 1 week market conditions will get better. I think so. I have a feeling that we've been grinding the ground very long and kind of like gaming kind of bottom up, but usually after project launch you see this first big candle, and if the project is good, it's hyped, you're gonna see the pop. Of course, it really depends on how much tokens are released straight from the get-go, and here I think is gonna be okay. Like, the supply at the beginning is gonna be okay. So it really depends. If I'm gonna see a really big candle straight from the beginning, I'm not jumping in. I'm waiting when things settle a few days, probably when start to bottom up. Like here, we're gonna see maybe another leg up, especially if it's going to be like first week. Then I'm definitely gonna be watching it like a hawk and just see what the price is doing, because there's really high likelihood that if the market condition will get a little bit better, and I think so, after first week there's still like a month to first unlocks of the community tokens, and then in this period we might see another leg up, because people are not afraid of the dump and they want to make money. Alright guys, to sum it up, Ember Sword, browser-based game, very accessible, with pretty polished graphics. Well, they're pretty old, but still they have their own engine, and the game will probably run on most of the even older devices, which is really good. Not many tokens to dump on you at the beginning, at least from what we see from those tokenomics, and market conditions are so definitely interesting. I would like to see more utility for the token. I think cosmetics, they are okay. Great, I love that it's not pay to win, but I don't know if the demand for those cosmetics will be as high as maybe they expect, because I see that people want to be looking different, or they want to have something that differentiates them from the other players, only when the player base is bigger and like everyone seems to look similar. When the player base is small, people are kind of like not looking at this cosmetics. It's not that important. So it really depends on how this play to earn aspect in the game gonna look like as well. So there's a lot of question marks still, but of course everything you hear, it's not a financial advice, guys. Basically, that's it. Have a great day. Smash the like button and subscribe. Helps me grow. Laters.